Hey everybody, Dr. Robert Pate, licensed clinical psychologist and marriage counselor here to talk with you about what I consider to be hokey pokey marriages. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, maybe you haven't been to a wedding in the last 30 years in America, but there is a little dance that a lot of DJs like to put on, and they call it the hokey pokey. And so what happens is you get in a circle with 10, 15 of your closest friends and relatives that you haven't spoken to since the last wedding or funeral, and you put your left foot in, you take your left foot out. You put your left foot in, and you shake it all about, right? So those of you who have been to a wedding and participated in this dance, if we can call it that, you're probably laughing now at the cheesiness. But I want to tell you that I see this pattern so many times with couples that I work with. They come in and the relationship is in danger of being dissolved altogether. They're going to break up, they're going to get divorced, and really a lot of it often comes down to this hokey pokey marriage syndrome here. So I see it all the time where someone is looking for an apartment or they're starting their own bank account. They don't want to have a joint account anymore. Maybe they're talking with family and trying to already think beyond the marriage, beyond the relationship, to what am I going to do when this ends? And I can tell you that that is not a winning strategy. Because what's happened there is you're in a hokey pokey marriage. You've got one foot in, and you've got one foot out. And the problem here is that with one foot out the door, a lot of times we end up just looking for a reason to take that other foot out. So it doesn't feel safe, and that's why we took that first foot out. We don't feel loved, and that's why we took that first foot out. But I can tell you that the answer is not taking your foot out. The answer is staying both feet in, and being 100% committed to the relationship, whatever that looks like. Okay, so think about when you took your vows. Think about when you committed to this person. It probably involves something along the lines of in sickness and in health, richer or poorer. And really what I wish we would involve in our marriage vows these days would be for better communication or worse communication, right? Something along these lines. For feeling respected or not feeling respected. Because that's ultimately what ends up breaking up our relationships. It's not money. It's not being rich or poor. It's, do we treat each other well when we're in a tough situation? Or when we come into money and power, do we treat each other well? Or do we use that then as an excuse? And do we use that as a bargaining chip and say, oh, well, I have the resources now to go get what I want to need from someone else, right? So we're not fighting fair. So these things lead us toward taking one foot out of the relationship. When really what we have to do is we have to confront those things head on, talk to our partners about them, and start working them out. So what I hope you'll do is take a hard look at your relationship and ask myself, am I in a hokey pokey marriage? Do I have one foot in and one foot out? Okay, so if that's you, if you're in one of these hokey pokey marriages, I can tell you that one of the first things you're going to have to do is jump back in with both feet. Because when you've got one foot out the door, you're typically going to be looking for a reason to take that other foot out. And if you've got both feet in and you're fully invested, emotionally, psychologically, financially, when you've put everything you have into this basket of this relationship, that's when it's got a chance to work. So if that's you, you're in one of these hokey pokey relationships and you're thinking, I don't know how I'm going to make this work. Well, the nice thing is you don't have to make it work. You and your partner need to make that work. It's a couple. Right? You're not alone in this. And if your partner's committed and you're committed, we can work with that. So I have never run into a relationship that can't be saved if both people are fully committed to saving it, if you're committed to each other. So if that's you and you're in a hokey pokey relationship and you want to jump back in with both feet, maybe you're not sure how to do that, you want some help, somebody along the way, give me a call, shoot me an email, and let's get to work on this. Let's get to work getting both feet back in for you and your partner. And find a way to make this work. It's the most important relationship in your life. It is worth saving. I promise you that. All right. Until next time, take care. And don't do that hokey pokey. It's a cheesy dance and it does not save your relationship. All right. Take care, guys.